Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, and this is your phonics lesson for today. We're on lesson 9 of Unit 4. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we are on lesson 9 of Unit 4 today. So we're going to switch things up today. We're going to do some mix-it-ups instead of what we have been doing on the Jamboard. So our first word today is the word hope. Hope. Now I want you to think about the word hope, but change the p to m. What will the new word be? Be home. Very good. All right, our second word is the word slip. 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 I want you to think about the word slip and change the ul to k. What will the new word be? That's right, it will be skip. Good. Our next word is the word had. Had. You're going to change the d to z. The new word is has. Good. All right, our next word is cloud. Cloud. And you're going to change the ul to er. The new word is crowd. Good. Okay, our next word is the word wild. Wild. And we're going to leave off the ul part. This one's a little tricky. Think about the word wild. And leave off the ul. So it's just wide. The new word is wide. That one was a little tricky. Our next word is the word fit. Fit. And we're going to change the t to x. So the new word is fix. Very good. All right, our next word is the word mine. Oops, I didn't mean to show you that. We're supposed to change the ein to een, so the new word is mean. Sorry about that. Our next word is flow. Flow. And we're going to leave off the so the new word is flow. Good. Our next word is slide. Slide. But we're going to leave off the d part. So the new word is sly. Good. Our next word is the word sweep. Sweep. But we're going to change the w to ul. The new word is sleep. Very good. And our last word is the word spoon. Spoon. And we're going to change the oo to I. It is spin. Very good, guys. All right. So our sentences, we're going to manipulate some phonemes here today, but we're not going to use sentences. We're just going to use random, sorry, there's a cat here on my screen, just random words, okay? So the first word is the word cord, cord. How many sounds do you hear in the word cord? I hear 3 sounds. Cord. So we're going to change this final consonant sound of d to k. So what is the new word on the curve? It is k or cork. Very good. Our next word is the word work. How many sounds do you hear in work? Work. I hear 3 sounds. Work. Good. We are going to take this final consonant sound, the k, and change it to d. Word. What is the new word on the curve going to be? It's going to be word. Very good. Okay, our next word is the word barn. Barn. Think about how many sounds you hear in the word barn. I hear 3 sounds. Barn. Barn. Good. We're going to take the final n sound and change it to j. Barge. Barge. What is the new word on the curve? It is barge. Very good. Our next word, warm. Warm. How many sounds are in the word warm? 3 sounds. Warm. Good. We're going to change the to arf. What is that new word? That might be a word that you have never heard before. It is a wharf. Good. Our next word is the word punch. Punch. How many sounds do you hear in the word punch? I hear 4 sounds. Unch. Good. We're going to take the ch part and change it to k. Unk. What is the new word on the curve? It is punk. Good. Our next word is the word help. Help. How many sounds do you hear in the word help? I hear 4 sounds. Help. Good. We're going to take this p sound at the end and change it to d. Held. What is the new word on the curve? It is held. Very good. All right. Our next word is the word horse. Horse. How many sounds do you hear in the word horse? Horse. I hear 3 sounds. Good job, guys. All right, we're going to take the sound and change it to n. Horn. What is the new word on the curve? It is horn. Very good. All right, our next word is munch. Munch. How many sounds are in the word munch? We have 4 sounds. Unch. Good. We're going to take the ch part and change it to un. Good. What is the new word on the curve? It is month. All right. And our last word that we're going to segment today is the word north. North. How many sounds do you hear in the word north? North. I hear 3 sounds. North. We're going to change the to norm. What is the new word on the curve? It is norm. Very good. All right, it's time for your favorite part of the beginning of the lesson, spoonerisms. All right, so today's spoonerism, remember I'm going to say it first, give you a few seconds to think about it, and then I'll show it to you, okay? So today's spoonerism is plotch me way. Plotch me way. It's tricky today. Want to see it now? Plotch me way. What is it supposed to say? Remember, we're supposed to take the first sounds of the first word and the first sounds of the last word and flip-flop them, and it's supposed to say, watch me play. Very good. All right, our learning targets for today are can identify nouns and verbs in sentences. I can read words with different spellings for the O sound, and I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Subway. So, we have worked with nouns and verbs in previous lessons. Who can tell me what is a noun and what is the verb? So a person, place, or thing is a noun. And remember, we also included an animal. A person, place, thing, animal, or an idea is a noun. And a verb is an action word. Not always, but most of the time. All right, so let's practice finding nouns and verbs in sentences. So we're going to underline the verbs and we're going to circle the nouns, okay? We're also going to replace the common nouns with the proper noun. So she baked muffins for us. What do you think is the verb in that sentence or the action? And what do you think the common noun is? Well, bake definitely sounds like it's an action. And I think muffins is a common noun. Good. So baked is the verb and muffins is the noun. So if we were going to make a proper noun of muffins, we could say she baked Pillsbury muffins for us. The man ran to the gym. So look at that sentence carefully. What common nouns do you see? And what proper noun or what verbs do you see? Okay, so we have two common nouns in this sentence. We have man and gym. And the verb is the word ran. Good. So we can say the man ran to the Gold's Gym. He read that book at bedtime. Look at that sentence carefully. What common nouns do you see and what verbs do you see? Okay, so I think read is an action because it's something that you can do. And I think book is a common noun. So read is the verb and book is the noun. If we're going to say a proper noun for book, we can say he read that book where the wild things are at bedtime. The dog jumped over the fence. So look at the sentence. Find the action verb and find the common nouns. Okay, so I know that dog is a noun and fence is a thing, so it's a noun. So I think those are my two nouns. And I think maybe the verb is going to be jumped. So dog and fence are common nouns and jumped is the verb. My teacher lives on a street near the school. What are the common nouns and what is that verb? Okay, so I know teacher is a person, so that's a noun. Street is a place, so that's a noun. And school is a place, so that's a noun. And I think the only thing that shows action in this sentence is lives. So we have three nouns in this sentence. We have teacher, street, and school, and we have the verb lives. So we could say, my teacher, Ms. Kofer, lives on the street, High School Avenue, near the school, Fairview Elementary. Okay, so we have been learning a lot about the O sound lately. So what spellings have we learned that make the O sound? We have talked about 3 spellings so far. We've talked about the O by itself. We talked about OE, and we have talked about O consonant E. And today we're going to look at a new spelling for the O sound, and it is the letters OW. The spelling OW is a way to say O. Okay, so if we look at this sound, OW, the spelling for O, like in the word snow. So this is a different way to spell the O sound. See, if you look at the power bar though, it's not very common, is it? Let's go to our code chart and we're going to highlight the OW sound for O. I'm sorry, the OW spelling for the sound O. Here it is. So we're going to highlight OW. And while I'm doing this, I want you to look at the 5 different ways that we have learned how to spell O so far. We just did this one a few days ago, didn't we? So we have O consonant E, O by itself, and now we have OW, OA, and OE. Which one is most common? It's most common to use just the O by itself, but it's tricky because when you have O by itself, it also can say ah. So we have to be careful with that. All right, so let's practice reading words with the OW spelling for O, like in the word snow and row. We have the words low and toe, and this is not the toe that's on your foot. This is a tow, like if your car breaks down and you have to have a tow truck come help you move it. We have row and show, crow and blow. So where in these words does the OW spelling occur? The OW spelling is at the end of each word. So now we're going to read some 2-syllable words with the OW spelling. And again, all of these words have the OW spelling at the end of the word, like in the word hello and below. We have below. Ooh, this one is bellow. This is like to yell. We have fellow and pillow. So sometimes you can have the OW spelling in the middle of a word also, but it's usually at the end of the word when it says O. But you have to be careful because the OW spelling has other sounds and it has a tug of war with it, okay, between the different sounds. So you will need to try both ways to pronounce the OW sound as an O and ow, like cow, to make sure that it sounds right. Like if I were to look at this word, pillow or pillow, which one would make sense? Below or below, which one would make sense? You have to say them both so that you know which one makes the most sense in that context. So, like I just said, the OW spelling is tricky. When you see it in a word, you should remember that there may be a tug of war between the different sounds. So let's read some words that have the OW spelling in the middle. We have the word down, Make sure you say these words with me, please. Clown, howl, now, how, cow, and bow. Now this word is tricky though because it also can say bow. You got to make sure you're reading the whole sentence to figure out which way to say that word. Okay, we're actually going to skip that part because I can't do that with you because you're not here with me in my bedroom. So let's go over your worksheet for today. All right, so today's, you have a big list of words up here in the box, okay? These are all words with OW spellings. Some say O, like snow, and some say ow, like now. You're gonna read each word, and using your text box, you're going to decide, does it say O, or does it say ow? And you're gonna put it in the correct space, okay? Like our first word is the word blow. Oh, like snow. So we're going to write the word blow. Okay. And then I'm going to mark it out. Oops, I didn't mean to do that in green. It won't let me do it. All right. So now let's see. What about the word fowl? Like a bird is called a fowl. Is that going to go in O or ow? It's going to go over here with the owls. So we would write it right there. And then I'm going to mark it out. Okay. So you're going to do that with the rest of these words. Decide which column it's going to go in. Does the OW sound like O, or does the OW sound like ow? And guys, listen, it has a second page. You just need to make sure that before you turn your work in that you're doing all of the work. Okay, some of you are just doing the first page, and I'm having to resend it back to you so that you can finish it. Make sure you check that there's more than one page or not. So your second page, you have words in the box. You're just going to decide which word makes the most sense in that sentence. Okay, and then you're going to fill it in. All right, it's time to wiggle, guys. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Show me your hands. Show me your elbows. I can't see my elbows. I have on a sweatshirt. Act like you are growing. And now you need to row your boat. Good. All right, wiggle back down to your seat. I am going to give you today's magic word. Today's magic word is pencil. Pencil is your magic word for today. Stuck it in the middle of today's lesson so that I know if you're watching it or not. So today's magic word was pencil. Our story for today is called The Subway. So what are some of the places where Kim has already looked for a job? She's gone to a gym to look for a job. She's gone to the corner market. She went to Dwight's Lights, and she has gone to a diner. So today's story does not involve Kim applying for a job, but instead it's about her subway ride from Brooklyn to Manhattan. So remember that Brooklyn and Manhattan are boroughs in New York City. And a borough is a neighborhood consisting of a county, cities, villages, and towns. So she's going to go from Brooklyn to Manhattan today. And to get to Manhattan from Brooklyn, Kim and Kurt will take a subway to go under a river. Look at this picture. This reason why this is not connected is because this is water. These are rivers. So they're going to have to go under this river to get to Manhattan. So have you guys ever ridden on a subway before? I think the closest city to us that has a subway is Atlanta. I took Caitlin to Atlanta 2 summers ago. We went to see Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s house that he grew up in Atlanta. And we went to the museum there about Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement. And while we were there, we got to ride on the subway. I have ridden in subways in Atlanta, Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York City, and that's it. Just those 4 places. Those are the only places I've ridden. Oh, wait, and Seoul, North Korea, or South Korea. I've been to Seoul, South Korea, and I rode the subway there. It's really cool. So those are some subways that I have been on. And they're really fun. So if you've never been, that's something you should try to do before you get old, I guess. All right, so before we read our story, let's go over some spellings that you were going to see in your story today. So we have the E sound with EA, like in meal and breathing, seats, here, and east. And we have the AI spelling for A, like train, and weighted, and air. And we have the AY spelling for the A sound in subway, day, and suede. And then we have the sound with ER in river, under, closer, closer, and better. And then some other multi-syllable words that you're going to see in today's story are finished, waitress, Manhattan, platform, and inside. And some of our vocabulary words for this story are, or phrases. Sometimes we have phrases too. The first one is to leave a tip. So I know that pretty much all of you have probably at one point in your life gone out to dinner with your family or friends at a sit-down restaurant. And at the end of the meal, maybe you notice your parents leaving money on the table. That's called the tip, and that is money that you give to the waitress or the waiter. That is more than the cost of the meal, and it helps pay the waiter or the waitress for their good service. So the better that they serve you and are attentive to you, the better tip they get. Another thing is Times Square, and it is a busy area of Manhattan, and it has lots of shops and theaters in it. We have the East River, which is a river running through New York City. This is probably the river they're going to be going underneath in the subway. And then we have the word platform, and a platform is a raised area where the riders or the patrons of the subway wait. If you see, like right here, these are the train tracks that the subway goes on, and it's down below the platform. So that way people are above the train and they can just step onto it without getting caught up in the tracks. So how do you get from place to place? How do we here in Tennessee get from place to place? Like if you need to go to the grocery store, how do you get there? Well, a lot of people in where we live, because we don't have a lot of public transportation, we take our own cars, or some people ride a bike. Sometimes we even walk. But when you live in a big city like New York, you have a lot more options. You could ride a bus, you could take a cab, or an Uber. You could ride on the subway. If you're going to faraway places, you could even take an airplane. So when we read our story today, The Subway, I want you to be thinking of the ways that a subway is similar or different from the types of transportation that you have been on before. Okay? So before we start, there is one part of the story where Kurt is going to say something and it's going to say with a loud sigh. Do you guys know what a loud sigh is? No, it's kind of where, like, the word that he's going to say is Manhattan. So that was a loud sigh. It shows that he's not happy about having to go to Manhattan. So Kim is going to explain in the story that sub means under. So when we are in a subway, you are under the ground or under the water in the train. Okay, so let's read our story and see what they're going to do today. So we are on the subway, page 54. The subway. When Kim and Kurt were finished eating, Kim paid for the meal and left a tip for the waitress. Then they went out of the diner. We need to get on the subway and go into Manhattan, she said. Manhattan, Kurt said with a loud sigh. This job hunt will take all day. It won't take that long. I'm just having no luck here in Brooklyn. Maybe I can find a job in Manhattan. They walked to the subway stop. Kim got out the fare card her mom had given her. Which train will we take? Kurt asked. The number 3 train. Kim pointed to a map on the wall. She showed Kurt a red line on the map. We will ride from here in Brooklyn over to Manhattan and all the way up to Times Square. Kurt pointed at the spot on the map that marked the East River. Will we get to see the river? No, said Kim. The subway goes under the river. That's why it's named a subway. Sub means under. A subway is a train that goes under things like rivers and roads. It travels underground. Kurt and Kim waited on the platform for the subway train. Soon, Kurt could hear the sound of the train as it got closer. There was a gust of air. The train rolled up to the platform and stopped. The people inside the subway train were packed in tight. There were no seats, so Kim reached up and grabbed a strap. Kurt held on tight to Kim's leg. The train started off with a jerk. All the people swayed from side to side. Kurt could hear the train squeaking and creaking. Soon, the train slowed down. A voice came over the speaker. This is Clark Street. Next stop is Wall Street. Where are we? Kurt asked Kim. This is the last stop in Brooklyn, Kim explained. Next, the subway crosses over to Manhattan. Then can we get off? I'm so squashed, I'm having a hard time breathing. Hang in there, Kim said. Some people will get off as soon as we get to Manhattan. Kim was right. The next stop was Wall Street. Lots of people got off the train. At last, Kurt and Kim got seats on the train. This is much better, Kurt said. So, why does Kim want to go to Manhattan? Kim goes to Manhattan because she is not having any luck finding a job in Brooklyn. So describe the inside of the subway train. So inside a subway train, there are seats and there are straps hanging from the ceiling for people to hold on to, and there are windows to look outside. What sound does the subway make? The subway makes squeaking and creaking sounds. Why was Kurt having difficulty breathing? So the train was very crowded, so Kurt felt squashed, and that made it hard for him to breathe. Did Kurt and Kim end up getting seats? Yes, Kurt and Kim got seats after people got off at Wall Street in Manhattan. All right, so our learning targets for today were I can identify nouns and verbs in sentences, and we did that. I can read words with different spellings for the O sounds. We did that with the new OW spelling today. And I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Subway. And we did that today too. So you guys have had a very productive class in phonics today. You did a lot, and I'm super proud of you. And so now it's time for you to get your work done. Remember, you have the worksheets to work on. And that's it, guys. I hope you have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.